have a music pick for my number three.
Well,
And
I
it's,
got a trifecta this month:
oh, see, I thought about
music,
doing that.
TV, movies.
I thought about
It's
doing
a
that.
trifecta, I think, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you when we get to my number one, the original plan for my theme. But yeah, the QC trifecta, those three things. I with this pick almost decided to go there. I'm like, yeah, I got to stay true. What do I really want? My number three, I found this by accident rather because I was cycling through, not literally, but cycling through the music, my picks, and I'm like, let me pull up some stuff that I haven't listened to in a while. Found out the good old band Franz Ferdinand
Ooh.
is releasing a new album on January 10th labeled The Human Fear. Have you heard about this?
I did see it on the music calendar that I looked at, but I haven't listened to Franz Ferdinand in a long time.
Yeah, so I want to say that they have some of my favorite albums, period. They've got a pretty good discography. They've also got some songs, standout songs that are all-time bangers, like Take Me Out, This Fire. I find them to be very fascinating. Overall, one of my favorite albums, period, is their album Tonight, released in 2009. I love that album. It's one of those that it's so good. They released a companion album to that after, which I always forget about, but I always like to return to. And It's Right Thoughts, Right Words, Right Actions. Um, and I don't know, like there's something about this group that they've got a style, they've got something that I don't know. I always like when they put out new music. It's been a while. Always Ascending was their last album, released 7 years
Oh
ago,
boy.
2018. That album was not my favorite. That
So
took a
they've had
downturn.
almost a decade to
Yeah, to
make 12 good songs or
to yeah,
whatever it is.
and to marinate on that. I've actually that's gone up a little bit. I still think it's my least favorite album of theirs. Right now though, I gotta say with A Human Fear, Audacious is the song that kicks off the album, and I'm like, this sounds interesting. A lot of like what you've heard from in the past with them. And I'm not worried about that, but I am thinking, what is this album ultimately going to sound like? Overall, really looking forward to this, and it's a music pick. It's going to kick things off in that alternative rock vibe, so I'm here for that.
There's I feel like we don't get a lot of good music to start a year off.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
January is kind of a dead zone. I do have music. It's not my number three though.
Ooh,
Number three, 90s kids are going to know this. Viewer beware, you're in for a scare.
oh man.
Goosebumps, The Vanishing drops on Disney Plus January 10th. This is the second season of the Disney Plus Goosebumps series, and it follows teens in Brooklyn that unearth a link between a local tragedy and a long dormant threat. Somewhere between season one and two, they decided to make this more of an anthology
Mm.
series, which is fine by me because season one is just so so. But I am a big Goosebumps fan. I read those books as a kid religiously. I'm always interested in whatever comes out within the Goosebumps universe. Your main man, David Schwimmer's in this season.
Yeah.
um, so really, that's why it's in not David Schwimmer, but the fact that it's Goosebumps. I'm seriously always going to be interested in whatever it is. So that's why I have to put it at number three. I'm so connected to those books, and I'm always interested to find out how they can adapt those stories. Because I actually thought the idea behind season one was interesting. The way they each episode was built around one of the
Hmm.
old books and how they integrated it into the story. So we'll see what season two is. It already looks better, maybe to some degree, because season one is just okay, man. And some of it's really bad. and some of it was decent. As a whole, I would say I enjoyed it, and it did get better the more it went on, but not necessarily what I expected uh, when they first announced it. So hopefully, this is a little bit better. I think I said, I don't know if I said this 8 episodes
Hmm.
when it premieres or whenever it wraps up. It'll be 8 episodes. So again, December the 10th, January the 10th on Disney Plus.
I do think this looks better than season one. I did also think that season one, I did not watch it, but I did not read a lot of great things about it. So I really hope that this lives up. And then, if you say it's good, I'll jump in and watch it. But I do think I'll probably be watching it. I got to say, Goosebumps did not make my list. However, I do have spooky picks from this point forward. That was going to
Ooh.
be my original theme for this. I'm like, let's go all horror. And sitting at number two, we have Steven Soderbergh's latest Presence hitting theaters on January 24th. This is, as the description goes, a family moves into a suburban house and becomes convinced they're not alone. Don't know a lot about this movie other than the fact that we get Steven Soderbergh and a new screenplay by David Koepp. Is that right?
Yeah, David Kett.
Um, and then that's really wild because we will also get a second movie by them in March, Black Bag, which also looks like a banger. But to kick
Got
things
that.
off,
Sorry, I was gonna say I got that trailer. I hadn't seen it or I hadn't watched it, and that was before Nosferatu.
ooh,
And I'm like, man, this looks cool. And we got two. I would say that's going to be on my March list.
yeah, I would say that as well. But Presence, again, I don't know a lot about this movie, just like you had mentioned the same for Companion. But give me all the horror. I'm here for it. And also, it's Soderbergh. So I've only seen the teaser to this, and I'm in that horror movie vibe right now.
This is his 34th movie and his first time that he's ever kind of dipped his toes into supernatural.
Yeah,
Um, so
that's
that's awesome.
surprising.
I mean, that's like the biggest, I would say, selling point beyond the experimental nature of what I've read about this movie. That's not my number two. My number two is music, and it's the sixth and alleged final album from The Weeknd. It's called
Oh
Hurry Up
yeah.
Tomorrow. Comes out July. Gosh, dang it. January 24th. What is I think I'm having a stroke. Why do I keep getting I just don't like January. I'm
No,
saying
you're trying
everything
to fight it.
but January. We don't have an official track listing for this one, but we have 3 songs so far. I've enjoyed all three. Dancing in the Flames came out, I think, in September. That's been on in heavy rotation for me since it came out. That's really all I got to say. I just like this guy a lot. He wants to give up the Weekend namesake, so this is the alleged final one, as I said. Hurry Up Tomorrow, January 24th.
That's going to be a good album. I don't want him to hang it up. He's not going to hang
Well,
it up. This isn't going to be it.
he's just going to go by his name, which is what he's not. I mean, there's no way he's not going to
Yeah.
stop making music. Interesting connection to Presence is he Julia Fox is in that movie, and they work together in Uncut Gems.
Yep.
So that's a little connection between our number two and number two picks.
Yeah. And that's I was going to say we've got going back to Companion, got a nice little cast going on with Jack Quaid, Lucas, Gage, Harvey, Gillian. But I'll go and say that I'm sorry, what am I saying? No, that is not
I
Presence.
know.
That
Did you spoil your number one just
Yes,
now?
I did. I just screw it. My number one is a movie that did not make your list, and it's Companion. It is literally the Jack Quaid movie. We do not know a lot about this. I did read something that does reveal more about the story, and I will not say what that is. But this movie, Companion, thriller, sci-fi,
Oh,
and
do we think it's officially sci-fi? Do we
it's
know that?
labeled as that now, and I'm trying not to learn a lot about this movie. Again, we have one trailer looks so strange, looks so bizarre. You and I think it has something to do with maybe a robot.
I think
So
she's androids. And if you
yeah,
notice, like the cooks, they have like a logo somewhere on them. That made
yeah.
me think this is like some company thing.
It's just like Alien and throwback to the Wayland.
Wayland Yutani.
Yeah,
That's literally the first thing I thought about. So my number one, like my number two, comes out January 24th. You mentioned it. The new one from Steven Soderbergh,
Ooh,
Presence. It's the like I mentioned, selling points. The him doing supernatural for the first time or horror Jason. I don't know
yeah,
how much
uh,
it's going to lean into that.
yeah,
And then the experimental angle of it. I know he shot this on like a Sony A7 camera on a Ronin, and every it sounds like every shot was done single take, and they kind of did it in order of
hmm
chronological order. So that's interesting because he always has to have a I don't say an experimental angle, but he mentioned not being interested in doing Ocean's 14 just because
yeah,
it wasn't something that interested him. He needed a hook. So
yeah,
this one sounds um like maybe a different take on a very standard supernatural log line because it's like a family moves into a home and realizes they're not alone. We've seen that a
yeah.
lot, but he's going to put his own spin on it. So I had to put this at number one. We have, I think, around 60 reviews so far on the almighty Rotten Tomatoes. It's at 89% currently. So sounds like it's good. It comes out in a few weeks. We're going to find out.
I'm pumped for it. I got a, like I said, I got an scratch to itch with the horror film genre, and this plus uh, companion. I'm ready for both. I want to do a double feature with these two movies.
So between the two new Soderbergh films, which it is hard to believe that we're getting two within 3 months,
We're being blessed with Soderbergh.
which one? And this is a neon film. Is the other one
hmm
neon? I
I
don't
don't
think it
know,
is.
actually. I don't think it is.
Which one, if you had to choose just one to go see,
Presence.
really?
Yeah.
I
I do
might,
think Black Bag looks solid, but
yeah, I might
Presence,
lean that. But I see
this
that
is
trailer
different.
and that looks pretty standard, like a
Yeah.
standard um spy thriller, that
Yeah.
we've seen. So some of what he says about why he doesn't want to do certain things, and then you see a trailer for that, and it could be completely unexpected of what it actually is.
True.
It makes you wonder a little bit, but I love Fassbender and Kate Blanchett looks great. I might lean Black Bag.
I think it looks good, but there's something about Presence that is going to be a little different than what we've received, I think. Like you said, just the idea of Soderbergh doing Supernatural. I hope it's going to be something that he really likes. We've gotten touches of that with Side Effects, not Supernatural, but like in that going more toward the thriller genre. Not quite horror, but some of that with Side Effects, and then also was it Unsane? Unsane,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah. So I think that I don't know, there's just something about this that I'm really excited. And also that partnership between him and David. I think getting both this 1-2 punch of Soderbergh shooting and then David writing. I don't know. I hope maybe this is going to be a partnership that we see and it's going to rock.